Hello, welcome to Tuesday's tarot tutorial video. Today I would like to share how to read playing cards as tarot cards. First of all, it must be known that the playing cards are just a modern day evolution of the tarot deck. We still have the four suits of the minor arcana, Ace through 10. The wands, cups, swords, and pentacles just translate to the clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. So then we have the four suits of the court cards. The members of the court are the king, the queen, the knight, and the page. In the playing cards, we still have the king and queen, but instead of the knight, we have the jack. And notice that there are no pages showing up in the playing cards, which are the children in the tarot. Just kind of as a side note, I do have a personal theory of why this may be, but really who knows. It is possible that either A, the evolution of the tarot into modern day playing cards are a reflection of our culture not seeing the value of children, possibly, or B, the role of the pages was too eerie, and that they are the messengers that announce the omens of what was to come in the future. And therefore the playing cards used as a game would be too much like divination to include them. But like I said, I don't know of either of these theories to be true for sure. It is just speculation. All right, so moving on. The other difference is that the modern day playing cards don't include any of the major arcana cards 1 through 21, which are depictive of the collective and universal archetypes of mortal existence. The only exception is the Fool. Technically, the Fool doesn't have a number as it is card 0, and it represents spirit that hasn't formed yet into the material world. Therefore, as the number 0, it can be placed anywhere in the order between the first and last cards 1 through 21. The Fool is the only trace of the major arcana still found in the playing cards, and it is seen as the Joker. All right, so in the playing cards, the diamonds correspond to the earth element, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The spades to the air element, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The hearts to the water element, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And the clubs to the fire element, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. There are 13 cards in each suit, just as there are 13 months in a lunar year, which is used in Chinese astrology. And finally, there are 12 court cards, just as there are 12 signs in the zodiac. So I do talk about the court cards corresponding to each zodiac sign in greater detail in other tutorials. So if you haven't already, you may want to check out those videos in the Tuesday Tarot tutorial playlists. All right. So I wanted to show you a particular technique using the playing cards that's actually fairly new to me, so I'm still kind of familiarizing myself with it as well. And it goes beyond the information I just showed you in relating the playing cards directly to the traditional tarot deck. So first of all, the black cards represent him, or the male gender, or whoever you're reading about if it's a male. And the red cards represent her, or the female gender, or whatever female you may be reading about. You have the jokers, which I only actually have one because I took the other one out, but normally there are two jokers in a set of playing cards, but just when I use these for divination, I only keep one in because there is only one Fool in the tarot deck, and I use it as corresponding to that Fool card, which represents new beginnings. So I only need one of them, but for this particular reading, you might want to have the other one. So the Jokers represent soulmates. The Queens represent family, unless the two of them show up that are red. And in this case, it would represent the other woman. Okay, so Queens represent family, unless two of them are red that shows up in a spread, and it would indicate there is another woman. The Kings represent money, and the Jacks represent thinking. Now, the Aces represent marriage, twos represent sex and intimacy, threes would represent a journey, fours mean that someone feels the same way, either as you do or as they did before. They feel the same way. Fives indicate a strong friendship. Sixes are they miss you or they are longing for the past. Sevens indicate feelings of sadness. Eights are a temporary separation. Nines indicate sudden changes for the better or the worse. And tens indicate a strong relationship. So fives indicate a strong friendship. 10 indicates a strong relationship. All right, so even though I am not too familiar with this new technique, I'm going to experiment with it by trying out on camera here with a Celtic cross spread. I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle them since I had separated them to show you the comparison. Get them good and shuffled. All right, so I'm just gonna sort of play with what I see here and try to interpret it. So the first card that comes up is a king, which represents money. So these don't have the same meanings as they do in the tarot. This is a unique way of just interpreting the playing cards. So now we know that this is about money, okay? The 6 that's crossing it is that either this person misses you or they are longing for the past. Okay, so since black represents males and red represents females, I'm not getting that this is a person since it's a red card. Even though it's a king, I wouldn't interpret it as a person. I would interpret it as money. So this would be as something from the past. Okay, since it's a 6, longing for maybe some lost money. It's possible. Shadow card is another king. Yeah, so I don't have an interpretation of what 2 red kings would be like. I did for 2 red queens. Now, in this case, I'm still going to interpret it as it's meaning money, and that is the foundation. So if I'm interpreting this as a Celtic cross where we have the bottom card as the foundation is really based upon money issues. Okay, so in the past, there is a temporary separation, okay? And if you're longing for the past with money and a temporary separation, it could indicate a loss of a job, especially since there are 2 characters here. It's possible. Again, missing that job or longing for the past, okay? I'm going to interpret it as missing your job in some way. or liking what you did. Maybe you got fired in this particular case. So the threes are a journey. Okay, so taking a trip, taking a journey, going somewhere. Maybe this is to find another job, like going and putting in your resume. Yep, the three here is the self position in the Celtic cross, which is you yourself are going on a journey. Maybe going on more than one journey, since there is more than one card. The five is a strong friendship, so you might get a new job through a friend, through someone, like a very strong referral, possibly. Your hope here is a jack, which represents thinking. So maybe the thinking is, your hope is that they will think like the new employer, the interview that you might be going on, you're hoping that they think positively of you, possibly. The final outcome is an actual person, since the kings are money. You have three kings, by the way. That's got to mean something. The three kings showing up is definite saying, I would think that you would be getting a new job or a new source of money, a new source of income through a person, because again, the black represents the male and the red represents female. So this would be like the hiring manager may be a male. Shadow card. Okay, so normally I would read that as like the Fool card and it's a new beginning, but since this style is just sort of an interesting technique, this is just saying it's a soulmate relationship. So maybe, you know, soulmates come in many forms. They can come through work colleagues. They can come through friendships. It doesn't have to be always be romantic relationships. Maybe it's like a kindred spirit sort of soulmate, or someone just gets you and you've known them for a long time and you get the job through the referral of a friend. All right, so this was just sort of a fun way to sort of explore this new technique, and I just wanted to sort of experiment with that on camera with you. So if you saw anything else in that, feel free to comment. So this was one method on how to read the playing cards as tarot cards, and I hope you enjoyed this video and found the information useful and entertaining. Thank you for liking and sharing my videos and for subscribing to my channel.